Alright, what's up YouTube? Back with another video. This is going to be an analysis of another really high MMR game I played. You can check my channel for the live recording while I was playing to see how it went. So this game, this is a screenshot of the scoreboard from that game, so you guys can just see who's in it. This is like, this WC is Wildcard, which is a Div 1 NA team. And this Carbonyl team is a Div 1, or Div 2, I think, SA team, the top Div 2 SA team, Carbonyl. So two guys from this game, from that team. And then Alpha is the top Div 2 NA team. So there's some super high rank people in this game. And Eternity is also a another Div 2 NA team. So some really high MMR people. Several top 100 medals in this game. 2 on my team, 1 on their team. I think the PA is like rank 30 or something. But this game, I told myself, I'm not going to panic like I did the last time. I'm just going to play my own game, and you know, if I get completely outplayed, we'll see what happens. You know, so I was playing pause 5, which was good. This was classic Q, obviously. So I'm glad I ended up on a support role. So I'm playing with Ursa. And they're like either Necro Pudge or Necro Lesh, or sorry, Pudge Lesh. Ends up being Pudge Lesh. And I'm playing Undying. So nothing really happens to the rune. Pick up, and then here's where I turn on the recording, and I was like, "Oh guys, look at all the." You see, I pulled up my scoreboard, and then I like feed into 3 heroes. So I was like, "Wait, there's like 3 heroes waiting on this cliff." Oh, what a great way to start out the game. So I'm gonna be pointing out like kind of my mistakes and like things, just kind of my analysis of the game. So I bring my tangos to Ursa. If you're like the lowest MMR in like a match, just make sure you're like playing to like what your team needs, right? Like don't do what I did last time and panic, but like just acknowledge you're the lowest rank and just do everything you can to like make your teammates' lives easier. So like I'm asking this guy every time I'm coming back to lane, like, dude, do you need items? Like, what can I do for you? But here I do decide I'm going to play my own game, and the thing about this lane is like this Ursa can never solo, because if he's solo, the Pudge just walks up and goes on him, and the Lesh is clicking and using spells, and the Ursa just can't deal with that. So like I have to be with this Ursa at all times if like their enemy 2 heroes are like in the lane, so I can't just like go pull, and you have to recognize that, and I think I do a good job of that here. I like literally just play in the lane, kind of front for my Ursa, and the goal here is just to get him to get last hits. That's my whole goal, is to let my Ursa get some uncontested last hits, and like, yes, we have some kill potential if they overextend. So here, this is actually nice. Just with this continued aggression I've been doing, and starting with the 2 mangoes, gives us this capability of this like 1 creep dies here, or 2 creeps die, and I hit level 2. And off this level 2, I get another decay. I have 20 stacks. I think that Lesh had like minus like 12 strength. And then a Soul Rip level 1 can be really strong, especially if they're missing a bunch of HP from decay. So here, I mentioned this in the live game, but I do want to pull here. Lesh isn't here anymore, so I can like pull. I have this opportunity. And it's important to not go over the pull too early. Like if you just go over the pull and you're like waiting for 8 seconds, it's like 8 seconds where Pudge can just like fuck with this like Ursa, right? Like, yes, you want to get there soon enough to where you're not like just missing it, you know? But it's important to like not leave too soon. And then here I actually decide, like, I literally like used my brain. I looked at the lane and I was like, well, I don't really need to pull here. Like, it's not pushing that much. Even though we were really aggressive, the lane's not pushing out that much. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay with this Lesh respawning, just continuing to kind of body for my Ursa. Here I do die. So what I said in live is I misclicked. I wanted to click my wand and then this, and I like was clicking the wrong hotkey. But actually, I think it's better that I died. Legit think it's better, that it's best that I died here, because I used all my mana. I had no mana left. Six stick charges wasn't getting me anything. My courier did not have any mana on it. So even if I had like lived and salved up, I would have been at like 450 HP, no mana. What would I have done? I would have done literally nothing. So like I didn't realize this before I died. Like I was trying to live, and then like now in retrospect, like I legit think it's good that I died here and that living would have actually been bad. Like if they had not killed me there, I would have been like super fucked. So pro death from me. That's what you should take away from that. So bring my Ursa as boots. Give him a quick soul rip when I get back to lane. And here again, it's the same game plan. It hasn't really changed. And yes, I'm going to be looking to, like, I'm going to be looking to heal my Ursa a little bit with my W. It's kind of something I provide. But still just looking to, like, body away them and let my Ursa get CS. And notice he's top of the CS. Their PA is also having a decent CS, but, you know, me, like, doing all this aggression is what's allowing my Ursa to, like, freely farm. Which is really important. Here, I don't use mana to try and kill this guy because he's already TPing out, so I don't really care if he lives or not. He's just not going to be here. And the goal is just for him to not be here. And I didn't want to, like, waste mana going for the aggression because I didn't really think we were going to get it. So that was my thought there. Like, don't need to waste mana to try and get this kill. So here, Pudge isn't here. So I could go for a pull here. And I think that's what I do. This is, like, kind of a good opportunity to go pull. No, I don't go for a pull here. I think I should have. I think this is a missed opportunity for a pull because the lane is pushing up. This Ursa is going to get harassed if he's here alone, but like the net benefit of me getting a pull off and the lane being pulled back will be like better for us in the long run. So I think I should have pulled here in retrospect. With the Pudge not being here, it would have been a really good opportunity. So that's a missed opportunity for me. And I think I wasn't even looking for it in the game. Here, just kind of unluckily get hooked. We do manage to turn it around a little bit with my Fairy Fire. I think it would have been, like, I don't know. Is that an even trade? Maybe? It's like the same amount of golds. My Ursa got a kill. I guess the net effect of this is, like, my Ursa's not under any pressure. So, trading 1-for-1 kills, and at the end, if you're, like, if your carry is getting pressured by the offlaner after both supports are dead, then that would be bad, right? But here, like, my Ursa's not getting pressured, although granted he's not really free farming at this point either. So it's a little hard to say. I don't think it was like great, I don't think it was terrible. So here I was looking to go mid and fill my Quap's bottle, but he had 2 charges and was full resources, so he just didn't need it. I like recognized it a little slow, but I did recognize, I was like, okay, he actually just doesn't need it. So I went back to my lane. Just to explain my items, Wand is just a really good item that I want to pick up anyways. It gives me a little bit of stats. And you know, the active is just something I'm really going to need. Bringing more regen just in case. I've had this Sal for a while. Just brought a couple more tangos in case we keep fighting. I bought an extra Fairy Fire just because, like, that Pudge hook on me. Like, we turned that around for a kill because I had that Fairy Fire. It just goes a long way. And I've got a bunch of wards that I want to start placing. I've just been kind of picking them up because they're available. Maybe I shouldn't have picked up one. But our mid did get... Our mid's is running out soon. So maybe I shouldn't have picked up, like, the extra one just because it was there. This is just a Pudge ward. Just protecting my Ursa. If you're against like a pause 3 or pause 4 Pudge, it's really important to get this ward down. Sometimes I put it here, sometimes I put it like back here, because then it will like see to the sides, but then it will also like still see if he's like kind of hanging around right here. So that can be a good spot if you're against a Pudge. But the idea is to just protect your carry and make sure he's not going to get like hooked if he's like, you know, how often are you against Pudges and your carry gets hooked when they're like under their tower, right? It's because you don't see the Pudge. So here, my goal is to like kind of hang around so that I'm close enough to help without being in XP range. That's like kind of the idea. Like I want to be there and start zoning this Lesh if I need to, but I don't want to like take XP if I don't need to. So Pudge wandered away, right? I think he went to go get the 6-minute rune. I called that out to my mid. And I can't, I don't have boots. I can't really walk over here and be helpful. It's just better for me to secure this lane. Like this is the net effect of like somebody going to get the rune, right? Like the offlaner has to play super careful if the pause 4 rotates to the rune. So as a position 5, if you identify that that's what's happening, just do this. Just completely zone this guy out. Give your carry free farm, you know? This is the best use of your time if you're not like contesting the rune here. If you ever draw aggro like I did there, just make sure you bring it back to the lane. And here I go for a sneaky ward. Or a sneaky like wrap. And this guy notices I go into the trees. I had this good ward down, which I'm pretty sure he did not notice. We have really good vision. But he does start playing really defensive here. But notice, I'm just, if my carry's free farming, like I'm happy. And if this guy walks up, like yeah, I'll drop my stuff. Here I think I dropped my tombstone. If I dropped it like back here, because he was like Okay, this is just poor positioning. I just dropped it right on top of him. If I dropped it like 400 units more this way, maybe this goes better. It's a hard kill to get because like he always has this stun. So still good aggression though. And notice my Ursa, highest CS in the game. I'm doing a good job. I go for this pull here. It's really hard to get off and I miss it. Would have been a good opportunity to pull and fix lane equilibrium. But it's important to recognize, like, if you miss it, it's like, it's okay, right? Just do the next best thing. Here my Hoodwink TP's in. I would have pulled the small camp here. Like, this is absolutely what I would have done if Hoodwink hadn't come in here. But Hoodwink respawned and came up here. So I was like, alright, I guess we're gonna dive them. Right? Even though I don't have Tombstone, which makes this not ideal. I think he maybe didn't know that I had it, but yeah. I think I should have healed my Ursa here too. I healed myself, kind of like panicking from the Pudge, and my Ursa ends up dying to a Necro rotation, and if I had healed the Ursa, I think this aggression would have worked out way better. Like, if he's at full HP right now with his ult, like, I think this fight just goes way better for us. So that was just like a panic. That was just a panic heal on my part. And if I had healed my carry, that would have worked out fine. And ends up not being too bad. Because my Quap does rotate, and they kind of like turn it, and my Hoodwink gets a really good bushwhack. So it's a 1 for 2. It's not ideal, but it's a kill for my Quap, who's also having a really good game. Although the Necro is too, although my Quap's got a ton of denies. So, and this is really important to recognize. So I respawn. What do? My Ursa has decided he doesn't want to lane anymore. So if he's not laning anymore, my job has changed. Because my job was to secure him CS in the lane. And now that he's not in the lane, I don't need to be doing that, right? So one of two things should happen here. Either A, I need to go top and soak XP. That's kind of what supports, a lot of supports position 5s like to do if their carry goes in jungles. If you can, like, hang around and soak XP and get a little bit of farm, especially if they're like pushing into your tower and you can prevent it from dying, like Ogre, Winter Wyvern, Grim, kind of these heroes that like clear waves really well and are like Tree. They really like to do this. But what happens is I see my Hoodwink running top. I'm like, I'm starting to walk top. You can see on the minimap. I was like, okay, I'll go top and soak XP. And then I see my Hoodwink running top. I'm like, okay, my Hoodwink wants to do that instead of me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I start to walk towards bottom because like Undying doesn't really play at mid. This is like just a conceptual understanding of Undying as a hero. But he just doesn't like... You don't just walk into the mid lane and make things happen as Undying. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. But like walking mid and dropping a tombstone, it's like... You're not going to catch anybody. You have no disables. The distance from wherever you're fighting the enemy to their tower is so short usually that like you can't chase them down. Undying really likes to drop tombstone and like have room to like chase them down. So he really likes playing the side lane. So just walking mid as Undying, unless you're solely going to like soak XP for the purpose of soaking XP, that'd be a reasonable time to go mid as Undying. But if you're like trying to make a play or like participate, just don't walk mid on Undying. It just doesn't work out. So I walk towards my Beastmaster. My Ursa's chilling. I'm thinking about stacking, but don't need to, or it's not the time. And I get a really nice, like, you know, all I did was I walked towards the hero I wanted to play with. They are not trying to die my Hoodwink, so they end up going on this guy, and I'm here just in time. Because I just walked here, right? I didn't waste my TP. Don't waste your TP for no reason. I covered this in one of my very first YouTube videos about like how to play like an immortal player. You don't TP for no reason out of base. You just don't. So I get a really good tombstone heal. Totally saving my Beastmaster, deny my tombstone, which is nice, and we get 2 kills out of this. We end up getting the Pudge too. Their PA had a TP out, right? Their aggression completely turned around. My core doesn't die. Theirs has to leave. We get 2 kills. So I think really nice, like just movement for me to just go bottom here. Here I get a deep ward. I just watched like a Z, what's his name? Z Quixotic. I don't know how you pronounce it. He had a good video recently. I think it was just a replay review where he was talking about getting a deep ward down. And I was just thinking about that here. I was like, I want to get a deep ward down. Give my Quap, like, this gives Quap a ton of information about when she can rotate or when she should rotate. And also my Beastmaster who wants to play this area, like that same play that they just did, maybe this ward like gives information if they're going to do it again. So just these deep jungle wards are so helpful if you can get them down. And like that wasn't super, it wasn't like not like, I was here getting a kill, right? And then, assuming they don't have vision here, which they don't, I checked, they're not really going to have vision anywhere else over here, so they don't know that I put this down. And even if they think I put it down, they don't know where I put it down. I could have put it down here, I could have put it down on this cliff, I could have put it down right here, which is a spot I really like, because if you put a sentry here, it doesn't see here. You can drop it here, I could have dropped it here, so, like, it's, you know, if you're a support, you know it's really hard. Just because you know they have vision somewhere doesn't mean you know exactly where it is, and it's like, how many sentries do you want to burn looking for it? And so now, like, right, my same situation. The play's over, my Hoodwink's chilling, getting XP. I do not want to go, I never want to go top. I mentioned this in the live, but now that, like, the phase where, like, the fighting top is kind of over and my carry doesn't want to be there and isn't really planning on going back, like, Ursa's not a hero that's going to, like, show back up to his lane after he's left. There's just not, like, if you left your lane, it's for a reason. So I'm just never looking to go back top. I can maybe walk mid and participate, or I just, Undying kind of just wants to chill down here and fight until you get this tower. If, for whatever reason, like, my Beastmaster and Quap, like, went up here to try, if we all went up here to try and defend, that's when you can go top. But otherwise, don't go top. Unless your team's making a very coordinated effort, you just don't need to do it. I'm just trying to pull over a little bit. Just trying to, like, here, so what I'm doing here, and I said this in the live, I'm just trying to sap XP. I'm really low leveled. This is where it's like, I'd like to have my own lane, but Hoodwink's kind of doing it. And at this point, it's not really worth swapping, right? Like, it is not worth my time or TP to, like, walk all the way up here to, like, sit in this free lane. I just can't move my hero to that part of the map. Like, it just leaves my team so defenseless. So I really just need to either soak mid or just kind of soak behind my Beastmaster and, like, be here to defend him. So that's what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm soaking this guy's XP, but, like, I kind of need to. Here I do grief him by, he just finished his Helmet Dominator, and then I grief him by blocking her in camp. I just wasn't paying attention. That was my bad. And here I noticed, I was like, oh, they're going on my Hoodwink. And when you first see this, you might be compelled to, like, TP in, right? You're like, oh, well, like, if I just decay W, maybe this Lesh dies, right? And you just have to realize that the reason that I don't TP here is because I had already thought that, like, I don't want to be top. If you don't already have the idea in your head that you don't want to be top, you're going to TP to this because you're like, oh, this, like, kind of looks good. But what's best case scenario, you come in, you kill this guy, and then you're sitting in this lane top, and then you're an Undying in the top lane, and this hero just doesn't want to be here. It just doesn't, like I said before, it just doesn't do anything here. If it wants to be at, like, fights, and it doesn't want to, like, just sit and, like, solo defend a tower. So even best case scenario, I show up here, I still don't want to be here. Like, we kill Lesh, so what? Right? They just run, like, 3 more heroes up here, and then I have to leave, or I die, or they go on my Beastmaster, like, and worst case scenario, you can see, like, what I'll look at in a second is, like, they actually have their whole team up here. So if I had completed this TP, it would have been a total grief. Like, it would have been into 4 heroes. That would have been worst case scenarios. I, like, TP'd there. So I think a lot of low MMR players would have TP'd there if they were, like, looking at what I was looking at. Just really important that you don't make that TP, and you just don't make that TP because you have to already be thinking, I don't want to be going there. And so that, like, is what tilts the scale, and they're like, even though that looks kind of like a good play, it's not. So here I wander mid. I'm like, okay, well, they got 4 top. We've got a catapult. My beast doesn't really need my help. Like, right, if I don't know where they are, then I can sit behind my beast because they could gank him and I can help. But they're 4 top. It doesn't need my help, right? So my Quap decides to go, like, jungle or whatever. And I was like, okay, we're not getting anything mid. I got the XP from 1 catapult. So my Ursa's chilling. So I was like, we saw the Grim TP in here. So the call was made to, like, go on the Grim. Like, hey, guys, this guy has no TP. Let's just kill him. And, like, this is a scenario that Undying likes to do, right? Dive towers, throw down a tombstone. Like, if they TP in a bunch of heroes to defend this tower, like, yeah, we're going to fight them. Our Quap has ult, our Beastmaster has ult. This is the situations you want to be in. And if they don't TP anybody in to defend, like, fine. You get a free tower, you know? But just make sure you're playing in the right part of the map. So here we kill this guy. And our team's looking to take this tower. And this goes back again what's about to happen to your job, right? My job is to, like, fight anybody that comes down here and support my team in a fight. Once a fight is not happening, like, we've killed the guy that was here they don't appear to be sending any more heroes down, right? They're pressuring mid instead of like defending bottom. Now my job there is over. Like I don't need to sit behind nothing, right? They're gonna, even though this tower still has a bunch of HP, like my job here is over because there's no fight here, and that's what my hero does. He just like fights, or like heals, interact. He like participates a lot in what's going on. He like this hero, just the way Undying works is you're always like wherever the action is happening, you kind of want to be there. Except like I said, for like defending top, you don't want to be doing that unless it's like a concerted effort from your team. If your whole team's there, then you want to do it. So here I just TP in, save my Ursa, not save, but like give him some heals, make sure that they're not going to like dive him and pressure our tower too much. And I think this is another good TP for me. Just making sure that they're like not applying this pressure. And if I feel like they could have like punished more, like I don't really know what they were doing, but I think this is a little bit of a mistake from them because they knew we had multiple heroes down here. Maybe they were just afraid of like mass rotations from us, but like it was just me and Ursa, and like they had a bunch of heroes. I feel like if Grim and Pudge and Necro and Lesh like all like use all their abilities like there, I don't know, I feel like they could have like punished us a little bit there. Maybe we like turn it and clean up, I'm not sure. Here I'm just looking to make stacks because my Ursa is going Battle Fury. They reduce their pressure, right? And so I'm just like looking to chill. And here is like dewarding, right? They were top, they killed our hoodwink, they took the tower, and they were mid here, right? So what have they done? They've moved from here down here. So like they have a ward here, like 1000% a good team has dropped a ward somewhere, right? And like dewarding, it's not that I need to find their ward, it's that I need to make sure they don't have a ward in an area that's like very high vision and traffic for us. Like if they have this cliff warded, like I really don't care, because like my Ursa hopefully is not going to be trying to farm these two camps or like this camp while we're all doing something else, right? Hopefully he's good, or even this camp maybe. Like we're just not looking to like play over here much right now. So like if they have this warded, that's okay. Like I don't need to go deward that right now. However, if they have like this cliff warded or this, right, we want to play around our mid tower and defend it. So if they have like this area warded, that is not ideal for us, because like we still kind of want to be here, or at least make sure that they don't have like free vision and they're free to like just walk up here, which then gives them access to like mid or gank the heroes farming top or something. So that's what I'm looking for here, and I'm not gonna like way overextend looking for some board. So I get 2 sentries here. I actually just want to check because I couldn't check in game actually. Let's just check from their vision. Where do they have any wards? So they don't have any wards down, which is surprising a little bit. This is our ward. So they just have the one ward that they put here a long time ago, which is a decent ward, I think. They don't have any other wards. Where are all their wards? Scrim has 1. Where are all their wards? I don't understand. I don't think we've been doing a ton of dewarding. So I don't know what's going on. They have no vision apparently, so cool. But I was just doing my due diligence as a support. You know, I think they have a ward. So just kind of checking the spots. You know, I got 3 sentries with like two of my sentries. Didn't find a ward. I was convinced they had a ward here. I guess they didn't, but I really wanted to make sure. So I dropped 3 sentries. It's not a huge deal. Undying is not super item dependent. He's more level dependent. And so here, Ursa's farming triangle. We're happy. And so I'm just going to look to play with my Beastmaster again. Like I'm kind of following my Hoodwink. It's like me and Hoodwink play with the Beastmaster. Well, he's got Roar. Like play with your strong cores, right? I could play with my Quap too. Like, I would think what would be correct is, like, we play, like, towards bottom or towards our Quap, and our Quap plays towards us. See if my Quap TP's top, which I thought was kind of weird, but, you know, that's what it is. So we're not going to be playing towards Quap. This big fight happens. We do get the Lesh, and then we end up getting double Reapered. I think the net effect of this is actually pretty good. They literally have all 5 heroes down here. One of them died. Their other 5 are all showing here, under my deep ward that I put earlier, by the way. But none of my cores died, and we're farming a ton of area on the map. So you can see, like, let's just look before this place starts. We're up like 3k. And let me just skip forward to like, maybe let it update. So we're still up by 3k, but so like net worth, even though we lost 2 heroes and they only lost 1, we stayed like even in net worth. I feel like that was pretty positive for us because all of our cores were farming like the whole map, and you know, or maybe it was just even. At best, it was even, but like it forced their whole team down here, which is like really inefficient for them, right? They were all here, and then they were forced to like spread out and like farm slowly away, versus like we were just already encompassing the whole map with all the rest of our cores. So here my Undying gets picked off, or not my Undying, my Beastmaster gets picked off. And this is like, to me, this is the most awkward moment of the game, because my Quap decides to jungle. So if you're, it's like play with your strong cores, right? Okay, well Beastmaster's dead. Quap has ult, like I play with him, but then he went to jungle, right? If you're, it's like, what do you do when your strong core's dead and like your other one's jungling? You just do nothing, right? Don't feed. Don't feed. Defend a tower like passively. Yeah, so passively defend a tower is what I was saying. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just like here, soaking it up. I don't know, I think my Hoodwink shouldn't have like shown here. Just because like there's no reason for both of us to show, and I already was. Like one or the other is fine, since I was already showing. I feel like he shouldn't have. But he calls for a smoke here, which I think is good, right? So you don't need to be like next to a core to like start a play. You can just make a play towards a core. So I think a smoke in either direction would have been fine. Like if we had run down towards our Beastmaster, who's got Roar coming off cooldown, I think that would have been okay. And instead we run towards our Quap, which I think is also fine. Like this smoke towards a core, like is the concept here, right? We cleared one wave. We didn't need to, you don't need to stay for multiple waves, right? Clear a wave, get out. It's not suspicious, like just from the enemy team's perspective, it's just not suspicious what happened here for them. Like, yeah, 2 of our supports showed mid, but then we stopped showing because we killed the creep wave under their tower, and then their creep wave, we're just looking at the mini map at their mid lane. Like, this isn't suspicious to them that like the supports aren't mid anymore. It's like they just have no idea what we're doing. So don't feel like you need to stick around mid forever. Is it like if you're a support and you know you kind of have this little moment of downtime, like that was like 30-40 seconds where I was just kind of chilling, took a wave, look to do something. Ideally with your other support or one of your cores if they're the other one around mid, and then play towards like another of your teammates, right? Connect with your team. So here we're looking for the PA. We get a good glimpse here. We saw him. And so the Hoodwink gets a good wrap and a ward down. And here's really important, is we wait for our Quap to connect. I feel like Quap should have been a little bit faster. I think he's just a little slow here. We're just waiting. So my Hoodwink starts, my Quap's almost here. He goes for the quick TP, but Quap is here just in time to get the ult off. So that's really nice. And just, this was us playing to our cores, right? And we found a PA. If we had played to the other core, maybe we would have taken a good team fight bottom, like against the Necro, and yeah, PA would have been free farming. So this play, I think, in net was actually better. Even if we had won a fight bottom, if PA is free farming, that's probably not too bad for them. PA dying here, this is the best possible outcome for us. Nobody on our team got picked off. Rosh was farming. We actually get some, the sentry actually doesn't block, so I put down a second one. That was my bad. I just wasn't paying close enough attention. And here we hang around a little bit, right? We've got a tombstone up. You know, they were just showing like bottom a little bit. So like if one other hero shows up, maybe we get a pick off. But it's important to not like overstay. This ward is just to see their carry, like PA moving in and out. Granted, he has got blur, but this is like a nice ward to put down if you can, like in this situation as dire. Because a lot of time the carry is moving from this triangle to like this wave to like this camp, right? This ward actually can be really nice if you can get it down. And like, I'm not gonna walk over here ever and place it. I'm only placing it because I'm already here. And as soon as like, and what'll happen is like, okay, we see this Grim and we're like, oh, maybe we can kill Grim. And then we see Lesh, and then I see this TP. And so I immediately called it back. I'm like, guys, like they're bringing a bunch of heroes. Let's just get out. And it's really important to like just recognize that like you don't want to fight them here. And this is like another thing that like I think lower MMR players are really bad at, is like you're here and you've got some teammates, so you're like, oh, we must just have to fight them if they come because we're already here. And you might even say like, oh, you had a ward, don't you want to fight under the ward? And it's like, yes, on average you want to fight under your wards, but like staying to fight in their triangle is just the worst part of the map to play on. Sneaky aggressive gank while they're split up, yeah, go to their triangle. You don't see anybody on the map, or they're respawning, or you know that they're like in and around their triangle, do not fight them there. And you know, this is a high level game and we're like high level players, And we make the correct call to like not like throw and try and fight them in their own triangle. That would have gone terrible for us if we tried to fight them there. I don't know what Hoodwink's doing here. He's just kind of staying and applying extra pressure and keeping this lane pushed out even longer, I guess. I think it would have been better if he kind of like moved back across to do what I'm doing now. But he does TP, which I think is really good. And maybe it was better doing what he was doing and then he had the TP anyways. I don't know. This guy's like very high level, so I'm not criticizing him too much. But this movement by me, and one other thing before I talk about this is I walked past mid, yes. But my hero at this phase in the game does not want to sit at a creep wave and farm it. And you have to understand like what your hero like is good at doing. And if your hero is not good at like sitting in lanes and cleaning them up, at high level Dota, like you just can't do it. If you're like a low MMR and you pick the hero that doesn't clear waves, like one, pick a different hero that clears waves. But two, like if nobody's gonna do it and nothing else is happening and you're like, you know, I'm talking about like Herald, Guardian, Crusader, Archon maybe, right? Like, yeah, like maybe you can sit around and like farm this creep wave here, right? But like at high level Dota, my hero does not do this, so it is so important that I don't try and do it. If you try and do things that it's not your hero's job to do, high MMR players just punish you for it. You just get punished. They're like, oh, the Undying's mid, let's kill him. Or they're like, oh, the Undying's mid, let's go like kill a side lane. And then you're an Undying mid while your team's fighting, and you're like, why am I not at this fight? It's because you were doing something your hero's not supposed to do. So what I do instead, this movement, is I was top, and then I just walked all the way bottom. I didn't need to come down here. I didn't need a TP, right? I just walked away, and then walked to the aggressive part of the map that I want to make plays in, right? Like I said earlier, when we made that smoke, we could have smoked, we smoked top towards the Quap. We could have smoked bottom towards the Beastmaster. We did the other play, and now it's time to like move towards the Beastmaster, move towards the bottom lane, apply pressure. When you're ahead, even, you know, we're not way ahead, but when you're like strong and you feel like you can make a play, when you're dire, you make it down here, and when you're radiant, you make it up here. So this is where we're playing, and what do? I find a Lesh farming, and I just chase him down a little bit, right? I drop a ward, and I run into this Necro, right? And I'm like, cool, a fight. This is what I want. This is what we want as a team. Like, I don't know why their Necro and Lesh are down here. There's just a mistake from them, I think. But we're all here. We're all ready. And I do die, but we do get 2 kills on their cores here. Also, this Cloak and this Raindrop combined to make me not die to the Reaper's Scythe there, which I think is just a smart pickup by me. I had mentioned this in the live, but I'm going this Glimmer because they've got a Lesh and they've got a Necro. And I'm like, I just want to save one of my cores. Or myself, right? But like, I'm going Glimmer, and that's why. Just looking at their team and thinking about what you need to do, right? So I do die, but I got all my spells off. I like didn't die to the Reapers, which is pretty sick. And we take a 3-for-1, and I'm the only one that dies. And this is kind of how Undying plays, so I think I'm like doing a pretty good job here. I was in the right spot, I was doing the right thing, started a fight, died for it, but we took a really good engagement. And so here, I think it's really important to not TP. I'm just going to talk about this again. Like, I know most low MMR players would just TP out of base here. I just know they would. They're like, I'm up, I got a TP, my team's on the other side of the map, I want to join them. Let's just TP over there. Like, just save your TPs, guys. Just save them. Like, I don't need to be down here. Like, the enemy team is not going to run into us and fight us again here. Unless my team stays, like, way too long. But even if they did, like, I don't want us to fight them again down here. That's, like, not the goal. Like, what I'm saying in team chat right now, we've got this tower, is like, take outpost and like, let's set up for Rosh on. So what do? I run towards the Rosh pit. So this is a good movement by me that I turn bad because I just feed. So like, I'm here, I'm by the Rosh pit. I think this is really good. And then what do? I get a little too like cocky, right? I'm like, oh, we're ahead. I want to get some like deep, good Rosh vision down. And I just walk up this hill like an idiot and just feed. So learn from this. Like, honestly, I'm used to like I am almost 7K. I'm like very high 6K right now. Even in a very high 6K game, I think this could have happened. In a higher level game, this just can't happen. Like this is like an 8K, 9K game. Like this just can't happen. You can't do this. I think I could have like just from the low ground placed the ward on the high ground. I think that would have been kind of dumb. I think it was just dumb to go for this deep vision. I think getting a ward here would have been good. Like, this is a really nice spot. Just gonna on-camera. Like, right here is a really nice spot. Because, like, or I think even, like, behind this tree, I think you could put it down. Or, like, even, like, right here or something. There's, like, a ward spot, like, right here that's, like, really hard to see. Like, even if you put a sentry here, like, sometimes you just don't see it. Or, like, just a ward sentry, like, right up front of the pit would have been nice. That's what I should have done. Just don't walk up this hill. At low MMRs, you can get away with this. I know you can. So, like, if you're low MMR, don't, like, don't try to put the ward here, right? If you don't see anybody on the map. Like, you can come in and drop a ward here. They might deward it anyways. So you want to be careful with your obs, because it's kind of a waste. Even if I dropped you here and they deward it, it would be really bad. So I feed here, but, like, my movement to the Rosh pit to play around the Rosh pit was correct. I am 100% sure that it is correct that we should be playing up here. So learn that, and then you can see the feed. So why are we on their vision? I'm like clicked on myself. Oh, because I'm on free camera, that's why. Okay. So what I'm telling my team here, even though I'm dead, is I'm like, guys, just make sure they're not roshing. I was a little afraid that because I was dead, like they would like rosh with PA, and I was paying that I had buyback. I was like, guys, just make sure they're not roshing. I'll buy back if there's a rosh fight. And it's totally worth it in these high level games. Like, you have to buy back as a support, especially to like secure a rosh. Like, it's 100% worth it. No item I buy is more important than like getting this rosh on like our course. I don't need to buy back. They don't contest too hard. I TP in as soon as I can. And they're like kind of hanging around, which is kind of weird. I just check for the D ward, get it. You know, I didn't do anything super impressive there. I should have backed up to Rosh, but it's just really important, that first movement to the Rosh, and like having the idea once you've taken this bot tower that the only thing that matters is the Rosh. And notice my whole team just moved over there, right? Like, that's just what you have to do with these high MMR games, and this is just how it works, right? I'm showing you like an 8K, 9K average game, and this is how you play. You crisply move around the map to the next objective. And now that we've taken the bottom tier 2 and we've taken Roshan, you can play two ways here. You can play to cover these two lanes. So conceptually, you need to play for 2 lanes and control and push in 2 lanes. When you're the team that's ahead, you got Aegis. One of the lanes has to be mid. I was playing a pub with some lower MMR friends. And I was like, guys, we need to push in 2 lanes. And he's like, yeah. And one of my teammates was like, yeah, we've got top and bottom pushed in. And I was like, dude, one of them has to be mid. And like, to me, that's obvious. When I say you need to have 2 lanes pushed in, one of them has to be mid. It always has to be mid, guys. If you're ahead, mid lane, it always has to be pushed in. You cannot have creeps sitting here and then bottom and top are like pushed in. You're not controlling the map if mid is not pushed in. So when I say 2 lanes pushed in, I mean mid and then either top or mid and bottom. So we just pick 2 lanes and you just kind of keep them pushed in. The other thing you can do is like kind of sweep across the map and control it. So if you watched like my 6 tips you need to play like an Immortal Sand King video, I talked about this exact concept where a hero TPs to the opposite side of the map and then he's going to push it out. And this has to be like a wave pusher. It doesn't matter if it's a support or a core. It has to be a hero that can push waves. Like if I made this TP, it would be a total grief. Because like I just don't push waves out fast. So like I'm going to like slowly be making my way down here. But this Hoodwink can quickly do it. And what do we need to do? We need to like connect to this Hoodwink. So we sweep across the map and our mid's not pushed in very well. My Quap was like jungling a lot in this game instead of like cleaning up waves, which I think is a little weird, but it's whatever. The guy's like ranked 60. So, I'm sure he knows what he's doing and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just thought it was weird that he wasn't cleaning up some more waves. But you can see we're like sweeping across the map. So Quap and Hoodwink cleared out this area. I feel like Hoodwink maybe could have pushed it in one more time, but maybe it's more important to look for a kill. I don't know. Again, these are very good players. This Hoodwink is ranked freaking 67. Like, I'm not criticizing him too much. That's just what I would think should happen. But what we did is we like cleared them out of like top and their triangle. We farmed their triangle and then we swept through bottom, connected. So like, where are they? Where do they have to be? Somebody could be up here. They could sneakily be up here behind us, but probably they're just in their race, right? That's like, they have to be there. We clean up the whole rest of the map. And this is what you do with an Aegis, guys. So here I'm asking my Beastmaster to check. I don't want to put like a sentry up there. And they do kill the Lesh here. So the Lesh was like hiding down here or something and kind of snuck by us because we didn't have a ward. But they hunt him down. And this is kind of the purpose of this movement. is to just like find heroes who are trying to split push, because like when you're behind like they are, you have to like go split push side lanes. Like this Lesh had to be doing this. Like this Lesh isn't feeding, right? He's trying to split push the lanes out and delay our inevitable push. And so when you're ahead, you just got to try and kill these guys, and like they're doing the right thing. This is extending the game for them. Ideally the Lesh doesn't get caught, but even if he does, it extends the game. And the Necro's doing the same thing, right? The Necro like TP'd up here with his bots, and he's like gonna push this top lane out, you know? He's gonna try and get his own farm while he can, while not being like trapped in his base. They're doing the right things. I will also note here, it's important that like you shove in these lanes just when you can. Like if I was a hero that shoved in lanes and I see this wave here, I would have farmed this wave. Like I'm playing Mirana, any hero that can like shove in lanes. Even like Winter Wyvern, like I'll go throughout a W, but because I'm playing Undying and my hero doesn't do that, in these high level games, you just cannot do that. Like just don't do things your hero's not supposed to do. So my Quap cleans it up, and we smoke here. My Hoodwing was calling for a smoke, like I did this like 5 seconds late. I was like, oh, I want my Quap to be in it, and he's like telling me like, dude, just go. And I was like, all right. Like you're probably right. I'm just doing this too slow. And this is like, we swept bottom, right? We cleared top, swept bottom, cleared bottom, and now we're sweeping back top, just reining them in, keeping the lanes pushed in. Meanwhile, my cores are like farming as we're moving around doing this, right? Your supports, you're not farming. And this is a super high level play here. And it's like the Hoodwink like sets all this up, right? He called for the smoke, and then like he's like got the lead here. My Quap is catching up, right? Quap's got blink, so it actually didn't matter if it wasn't a smoke. So here, I see this, and I'm like, oh, we need to go help Ursa. But for a split second, PA shows top, and this guy is like on glue. Look at it. He just runs. He just keeps running straight at the PA. And I'm like, my brain hasn't even like reacted. The PA showed yet. And I'm like, oh, we need to help this guy. And he's like, go on the PA, go on the PA. That's not like his accent. That's just like me saying that like this guy is like emphatically like saying this. And he's like catching and killing this PA. And I'm like, literally, if you go watch like the live version of this video, I like think this out like 5 seconds too late at every level. I'm like, oh, like Ursa has Aegis, so like he doesn't really need our help there. And like if we kill this PA while they like get my Ursa's Aegis, if that's what happens, it's like actually a really good trade. So I'm like, oh yeah, we should be killing this PA. This is like a super good play. I'm not even needed actually, like the Quap and the Hoodwink catch it, but like that's like the high level, super high level, like just like kill sense. And like look, yeah, Ursa dies. He loses his Aegis, right? But like we killed their fucking PA, like, so super good play, super high level play from the Hoodwink there. I just thought that was really cool. Like I realized in game, I was like, wow, this guy's like really fucking good. And that's like what high level supports do, dude. He like completely set that whole thing up and was dead target locked on the PA. This ward actually, by the way, like set that up. My deep ward is how we saw him. So I feel like I played pretty well this game, guys. I don't know. Way better than that Mirana game of the last 9K game I was in. And at this point in the live, I'm like, yeah, so my job now is like just sit and be a heal bot. This is Undying loves to play this way. Like if you're not like brawling and you're pushing, you're just chilling, throwing out W's, and if they like try and commit, you just like drop your tombstone. And it's really important to realize that your like ult at this point is like I am not looking to ult and hit anybody. Like my ult might as well not even be skilled at this point in the game. And like obviously I haven't used it a lot earlier in the game as well, but like if you're playing support Undying, don't get like all like, oh, I need to be hitting people with my ult. Like you're just gonna feed, you know? Throw W's, drop your tombstone, throw some decays, and like if you need to, you can like a fight can like start around you. And that's actually what happens here in a second. We're like, okay, don't push this in. My Hoodwink makes the call, like don't push the high ground. We don't have Aegis anymore, right? So let's just take their top tier 2. I placed this ward here because I know we can protect it. I think I placed it like a minute, like 30 seconds ago or something. But I only placed this ward because it's so obvious, right? This hill ward is so obvious. If they ever walk up in this triangle, the first thing they're going to do is check this hill. But it's good to place it here because we want to play here around it in this area, and we're going to defend this ward. So obviously it's good when you're playing around it to like throw this down. And if you think back to like when we ganked the PA right here, my Hoodwink had warded here, like he was smoked and he warded here. And it got us this kill on the PA. That vision set it up. And yeah, they instantly dewarded it after, but like it got us what we needed, right? You can put a ward down, even if you know they're going to deward it, if it's going to get you what you need in like the minute or 2 that it's placed, right? Rosh ward, same thing. Like if you need to get that ward up, even if it's just for the Rosh fight, even if they're going to deward it after, it's okay. So that's really high level like warding concepts. Here I'm just spamming my heal on the Undying ultimate creep from his Helm of the Overlord. here I'm actually not playing that well. I feel like I could have got hooked if this Pudge was like hanging around here. I'm pretty sure I could have gotten hooked like right here. Like I wasn't even paying attention. So their Pudge didn't like go for like any hooks. I don't know what he was doing. He's like out farming somewhere. And the last play of this game is, I think, just conceptually like kind of like what Undying wants to do. So like we kind of like, I smoked us up here just to like what high level play like needs to happen, right? Is like they are trapped in their base. So like what we want to do is we want to fight them, honestly. Like if they leave their base and fight us, great for us. Presumably they don't try and take a bad fight, right? So like we keep bouncing back and forth as a team. If they step out of their base, we want to fight and kill them. And meanwhile, we're farming, right? But we're staying like kind of as a team, you know, we weren't like way split up. And how this last fight starts is kind of what you want to have happen on Undying. Like I'm just hanging around like kind of in the front, and they went for a smoke play and they're looking for like any sort of good fight, right? A pick off, something that like gets them in the game or delays it a little bit, right? Maybe we split up. So I just find this guy, and they had smoked and gone for the play. I didn't even get my spells off, but we wanted to take this fight, and we were like luckily still grouped up. Like we hadn't split up or anything. So this fight just ends up going really well. It doesn't even matter that I die here. I instantly buy back actually, because I'm like, this fight is going to be really important because we don't have Aegis right now, right? So like if we conceivably somehow got wiped in this fight, they're like back in the game. So this fight is really, really important. Luckily, we just kind of get the PA kill to start like right away. But like my buyback here, I think is actually really good, because if this fight doesn't start going super well, I think me showing up to it would like turn it, right? I drop a heal, I drop a tombstone. Even if they like had bought back PA or something, it would have been super clutch. It doesn't end up mattering, but like I still think it was like not a bad buyback here. It wasn't like me trying to troll. And then off the back of that fight that we wanted to take, we win this game. So hopefully that was really cool for you guys to see. I was super happy with this game, not just because we won, but just because I like feel like I played better and I wasn't panicking like I was in that Mirana game. Go check, like I posted that just a couple of weeks ago. I posted like my gameplay thoughts, and you could tell in that video I was panicking. This time I felt like way better. I was like, I'm just gonna play my own game. Like I know these guys are way better than me. Like I'm the worst player in this game by a lot, but I think it just went way better. So hope you guys enjoyed this and like see how like even if you're the lowest MMR player in the game by like a lot, this is how you can still have an impact. Like yeah, I went 2-8, but I was 2-8-11, and I feel like a lot of my moves were really good. I got some really good wards down because I conceptually like understood what I was doing. And you can have an impact even as the lowest MMR player in a game, right? Like if you're a Crusader and you get in an Archon game, like just play your best game, you know? Well, that was the game. I can't show you the match details, unfortunately, but yeah, you saw in the beginning, right? They had like their PA was ranked like 30 something, multiple DPC players. We had 2 ranked 60s. I think the worst player on their team, their Pudge didn't have a medal, so I'm not sure what his medal was, but like their Lesh was the lowest like numbered player, and he was like 499. He was like ranked 499. Yeah, I have it open on the side. Yeah, he was 499. So like I'm ranked like 7 something. I'm like just at 7k. I'm pretty sure rank 499 is probably like 7.5k. So I was like 500 MMR under the worst player on their team. So I thought I played really well this game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And that's the video.